Very good morning, dear students. Dear friends, we are going to continue Laplace transformation. We have studied basic properties and functions of Laplace transformation in two previous videos. In this video lecture, we are going to study about final value theorem, convolution theorem, inverse Laplace transformation, and many more, which is very much useful while solving network analysis, or you can also apply concept learned here to other subject also that demands the use of the application of Laplace transformation. Let me once again remind you, Laplace transformation is actually used to transform time domain functions into S domain functions. In very simple word, Laplace transformation used to convert time dependent or time domain differential integral function into S domain function, which is actually algebraic count. So let us start with final value theorem, which is very important as far as your network analysis is concerned. In many of the applications, in many of the numerical examples, we will apply this. We have to apply this final value theorem. In the previous video, we have actually studied and covered initial value theorem. So after completing initial value theorem, we are going to study and understand what is final value theorem. Dear students, dear friends, final value theorem is the theorem which gives the steady state value of function ft, which is directly from its Laplace transform f of s. From the theorem, it is known to us that f infinity is equal to under limit when t tends to infinity ft is equal to under limit when s tends to 0 s into f of s. Now we have to prove it. Let's go for the proving section. We all have studied that integral from 0 to infinity d by dt of function ft multiplied by e raised to power minus st with respect to dt is actually equal to s fs minus f of 0. Let us consider that is s is tending towards 0. Then what will happen? That implies under limit when s tends to 0, integral from 0 to infinity d by dt of f of t e raised to power minus st dt is equal to under limit when s tends to 0 s of f of s minus f 0, as under limit when s tends to 0, e raised to power minus st becomes 1. E raised to power minus st becomes 1. How? See this. When s is tending towards 0, so put 0 here t. It becomes e raised to power 0. So we have studied this in our previous classes, that anything which is raised to power 0 is actually 1. It is so simple. Therefore, that implies integral from 0 to infinity dy dt of function ft is equal to limit when s tends to 0, s of fs minus f0 f of t from 0 to infinity is equal to under limit s tends to 0, s f of s minus f0 this will be f infinity minus f0 is equal to under limit when s is tending to 0, or simply s tends to 0, s of f of s minus f of 0. Now this one and this one is equal to both the side with the same magnitude and with the same sign, as you can see. So that implies f of infinity is actually equal to under limit when s tends to 0, s fs. This is the theorem which is valid if limit which is actually t tends to infinity of s fs exists. This is your final statement of, or the final proving part of final value theorem, which is actually valid if limit s into f of s under t tends to infinity exists. Otherwise, it will not be valid. Let us move towards understanding one of the most important tool for engineers, electrical engineers, that is called convolution theorem. Dear students, convolution theorem is the mathematical operation. It is a kind of operation. It is a kind of mathematical operation. The term here, convolution, means folding. It is having the meaning of folding. By application of convolution theorem, engineers are getting a very powerful output just to see the characteristic and the behavior of any signals. It is given by f1 t asterisk, this is asterisk sign, asterisk f2 t is equal to integral from 0 to 1, sorry, it is t, integral from 0 to time t of the function f1 t minus lambda into f2 lambda with respect to lambda, where lambda is your dummy variable. Lambda is your dummy variable. Laplace of this equation number 1 is given by Laplace of this equation is given by Laplace of this is given by that is L f1 t asterisk f2 t is equal to f1s into f2s, where f1s is actually equal to integral from 0 to infinity of f1 t into e raised to power minus st dt, which is equal to your Laplace of f1 t, and f2s is actually equal to integral from 0 to infinity, that is f2t into e raised to power minus st dt, which is equal to Laplace of the function 2. This is your convolution theorem. Now let us move towards linearity property. The property is linearity. That is Laplace of a function multiplied by a constant a f1 t having operation of plus or minus simultaneous, a function f2 multiplied by any constant b, function f2 multiply any constant b is actually equal to a f1s plus minus in the same order b f2s, where Laplace of f1t is equal to f1s and Laplace of f2t is equal to f2s. Laplace of any functions which is multiplied by constant k dash is equal to k dash f of s. Likewise, this is all about the properties of your Laplace transformation, and let us move towards to understand, to learn inverse Laplace transformation. Inverse Laplace transformation. Ft is given here 1 by 2 pi j from integral sigma minus j infinity to sigma plus j infinity of the transformed function f of s into e raised to power st with respect to s, that is ds. This is the one way. This is the one way to get this, and the another way, which is not actually based on the formula, is by partial fraction expansion. It is by partial fraction expansion. This is by formula method. And this is by partial fraction expansion. For example, if f of s is actually equal to p of s upon q of s, therefore is equal to ps upon s minus s1 into s minus s2 up to s minus sn. Equal to, expand it, k1 upon s minus s1 plus k2 upon s minus s2 plus kn upon s minus sn, where k is your, kn is your p of s upon s minus s1 s minus sn minus 1. For s is equal to sn. This is the two processes by which we are going to calculate the inverse Laplace transform. Now let us move towards next topic, which is your transformed circuit. The topic is your transformed circuit, that is transformed circuit. What it is actually, let me explain you in brief. When we are actually converting time domain equations into S domain equations, so what do you know, what do you think, from where these equations, from where these domains are coming? It is coming from your network, your circuit. So the circuit itself is transformed by the concept and by the applications which we have learned into the Laplace transformation. That is, voltage current relationship of network circuit or network elements can also be represented in frequency domain. Ideal energy sources which in time domain are represented as per the application we have learned in Laplace transformation. What I am trying to say, that is, the whole time domain is converted. Let us understand the transformed circuit in continuation with your Laplace transformation. We are here now to understand and to apply the application of what we have learned in Laplace transformation, all those theorems, final value theorem, initial value theorem, all those properties, linearity, scaling, and etc. you can all have in previous videos or previous slide. But let us start with the transformed circuit now. The basic part of this transformed circuit is starting from the resistor. For the resistor, the VI relationship in time domain is V is equal to R I of t. Okay, this is so simple. We need not require to elaborate this equation. This is very basic and fundamental equation of electrical engineering. What we are going to do, this equation is in actual time domain. This equation in time domain. What we have studied in Laplace transformation, that the Laplace transformation, by using Laplace transform a equation which is in time domain, which is having integration and a differentiation, that is integral differential time domain function or equation must be converted into S domain algebraic functions, algebraic equations by using Laplace transformation. So it is as simple as it is. Now the circuit is also actually transformed. The circuit itself, from where we are getting these equations, we are getting equations from the circuit itself, and the circuit is having parameter, and all those parameters like voltage and current, resistors, inductor, capacitors are there. If something is time dependent, that must be in time domain function, and that should be converted into your S domain function. Yes. So this is your initial equations. Earlier we used to write V is equal to RIT. Now the corresponding frequency domain relation will be given by, let us first understand this by simple circuit diagram. This is your resistor and this is plus minus V of t is given. This one is also your V of t. This is R and current is flowing I of t. The corresponding time domain circuit will be like this. As the resistor is not time dependent, resistor is not having time factor in its function, in its property, so it will be independent of S factor or Laplace. For the Laplace transformation, it will be considered as constant. It is so simple as that. It is your function, I of t is your function, V of t is your another function. It is like f of t. F of t is something like k into y of t. This is in the form of this. This is your voltage, this is your resistor, or this is your current. So the polarity remains same. It is not going to change. The V of t will become V of S. The I of t will become I of S, and R will remain R. And the equations which was in a time domain will be converted into S domain, and it will be like V of S is equal to R into I of S. This is as simple as it looks like. That's all. one may ask that what happened if the element, this is actually here a resistance, what happened if it is L or C? See the basic difference of the functionality or characteristic of this R or this L and C. These two elements are actually energy storing elements. For half of their cycle they stores energy, but this does not store energy. Resistor does not store energy. It is energy consuming element. Okay, so let us understand for the circuit which is having pure inductor. Circuit having pure inductor, that is R is not there. We'll understand for combination with R also and C also, but let us first understand for the inductor. The VI characteristic, the voltage current characteristic is given by V of t is equal to L di by dt. Well, this is very popular equation, well-known equation. So we are actually not requiring to explain this equation here. If you need the explanation of this equation, you can visit the previous videos or you can comment in the box. Now see this. If we happen to derive the value of current I of t from this equation, that will be like this. This is very simple simplification, no solution. I of t is equal to 1 by L integral from 0 to t, that is 0 minus to t, V of t dt plus I of 0 minus. Why there is 0 minus? 0 minus represents time which is less than 0, which is before switching, before any kind of switching operation. So let us transform these equations. This will be the circuit diagram is this is L, this is I of t plus minus V of t, this is your I 0 minus, this is for time domain, this is for time domain function, this is time domain, and what for frequency domain, this is for I will explain you. This is minus plus, V of t will become V of s, I of t will become I of s, and L will become S into L. This is L I 0 minus initial value. So this will be represented also like I 0 minus upon S in parallel with S L. This is V of S plus minus this is I of S. The equations are V of S is equal to S LIS minus L I 0 minus. Therefore, I of S will be equal to 1 by S L V of S plus I of 0 minus upon S from this equation. This is for the circuit containing inductor element. Now, what for the circuit having capacitor? The third part is capacitor. The VI characteristic of capacitor for the circuit having capacitor is VI characteristic is given by in time domain V of t is equal to 1 by C integration from 0 minus t minus sign for the same reason I of t dt plus if there is any initial voltage available on the capacitor. If it was initially charged, then there will be initial voltage available on the capacitor. That is I of t is equal to C dV by dt. The corresponding frequency domain relations are given as V of S is equal to 1 by SC into I S plus V 0 minus upon S. Let us see how it is. For a circuit containing capacitor, VI characteristic is given by Vt is equal to 1 by C integral from 0 minus to t it dt plus V 0 minus. Now the doubt may arise that why I have written V 0 minus. So just let me clear it. Why I have written V 0 minus. Okay. So If doubt is not in your mind, so it's okay. If it is in your mind, it is also okay. I'm going to clear your doubt. Now we have seen that capacitor is your energy storage device. For the half cycle, it stores energy in the form of voltage. Electrostatic devices. It is electrostatic device which stores charges, ultimately appears as voltage. Okay. So we do not know if it was initially charged or not. So here comes into picture initial value theorem. Initially, if it was charged, so we'll keep this for that option. Okay. This V0 minus is your if it was initially charged. If we ignore this, the system may behave in another way. That will not be a proper way. That is, the system may become malfunctions. For an engineer to have accurate calculations, we must consider before the time and after the time, and t is equal to time. Okay, we are dealing with energy storage devices. It was not so much of concern when we were dealing with resistor, because the resistor was not energy storage device. It was actually consuming in the form of heat. We have seen this. So resistor was not at all worried for us. It was not worrisome example for us. But as far as C and L is concerned, we have to take care of its initial charge. If it was initial charge, if it is having initial current flowing through across it or not. Okay. So this is a VI characteristic, that is Vt is equal to 1 by C integration from 0 minus to t it dt plus V0 minus, that is I of t is equal to C dV by dt. Let us understand the more proper way with diagram, that is if a circuit is containing capacitor, that is plus minus V of t, current flowing will be I of t. It is your, if it is one initially charged, it is V0 minus, let us, this is your plus plate, this is your minus plates as per your polarity of Vt, and this is your capacitance denoted by capital C. Now the same time domain circuit, when it is drawn in your S domain circuit, it will be like your capacitor, and what for the initial voltage source in series, that is plus minus polarity as it is plus minus, V of t has changed into transformed into V of S, and I of t has transformed into I of S, and the capacitor C has changed into 1 upon SC, and the value of initially charged voltage, initial voltage V0 minus upon S. This is the basic funda. Whenever you are transforming from this time domain circuit to this S domain circuit, we have to do like this. Or the second one is this is your current, this is your current CV0 minus, that is, and in parallel there is capacitor of the value 1 upon SC. This is the terminal of Vs plus minus, and this is current flowing I of S. Either you show the initial value by a voltage or current, but connect voltage source in series and parallel source in current source in parallel with the concerned capacitor. I hope you have understood this. So the V of S is equal to 1 by SC I of S plus V0 minus upon S. Also, I of S is equal to SC Vs minus CV0 minus CV into 0 minus. This is your transformed equations. This is your transformed circuit from time domain circuit to S domain circuit. This is one way of representation, or this is another second way of representation. Both is correct. You can go by any of these. This is for your transformed circuit. This equation is your for transformed circuit when Vs is equal to 1 by Sc into Is plus V0 minus upon S. Now this is actually can be solved algebraically. This is much easier to solve as compared to your differential integral time domain equations. Now let us move towards understanding one more elevated example, that is resistor inductor circuit. What happens when there is connection of resistor and inductor circuit? That is point number 4. That is we are having a resistor and inductor circuit. This is the circuit. This is switch. This is the value of R, and this is inductor connected. Let there be a current flowing. This I of t. Mark this resistor R, mark this inductor L, and this is your voltage V. This is your switch which is connected, which is closed. Now consider this RL circuit. The switch is closed at t is equal to 0. The switch S is closed at t is equal to 0. Now this is your reference time. From this t is equal to 0, you have to analyze this circuit. There would have been some activity before t is equal to 0. That is, before t is equal to 0 there is your t minus, and after t is equal to 0 there is t plus, or to be very precise, t0 minus or t0 plus. We have all discussed this thing. Now by applying Kirchhoff's law we get, let's just apply Kirchhoff's law. That is R into I of t plus L di by dt. This is so simple as it is. L di by dt giving you the voltage. Now take the Laplace transform. Take Laplace transform both the side will have r I of s. R will remain r, it will change I of s. For this plus L is constant, L will remain L. Now for the derivative of function it, this is your it. For the derivative of function it, L is outside of this bracket, this will be s into I of s minus I 0 minus is equal to this is a constant, and we have seen this. For constant, the Laplace transformation is constant upon s. So that implies r into I of s plus s L into I of s minus L into I 0 minus is equal to V by s, where I0 represents, I0 is the current through inductor just before the switch is closed. Please mark this, I0 is the current at t is equal to 0 minus through the inductor. It was actually flowing through inductor at t is equal to 0 minus just before the switch was closed. I0 is the current value through the inductor just before the switch is closed. Now we see that as at t is equal to 0 minus, the current I0 at t is equal to 0 minus, the current I0 is your 0. Current I0 is 0 because it was open and no current was flowing. We have seen this. So the I0 will become here 0. Therefore R into I of s plus s into L into I of s is equal to V by s. That implies current I of s, current in s domain, is equal to V by L for s into s plus R by L. Now taking inverse Laplace will have it is equal to Laplace inverse I of s is equal to L inverse of this entire thing. So put this whole thing inside this, under this inverse Laplace, to get I of t for t greater than 0. We are doing this to get I of t for t greater than 0. Now to solve this inverse Laplace transformation, we are going to use partial fraction method. Partial fraction method like this. Let v by L upon s into s plus r by L is equal to a by s plus b by s plus r by L. See this, in the denominator there are two factors, factor number 1 s and factor number 2, that is under the bracket s plus r by L. According to this, we have divided in two factors a by s plus b by s plus r by L. Now to get the value of a, put s is equal to 0. Put s is equal to 0. Put a by s is equal to 0, that is s will equal to 0. To get the value of a, put s is equal to 0. So we have a is equal to v by L into s by s into s plus r by L, and put v is s is equal to 0. Putting s is equal to 0, you will get this gets cancelled out. This is 0, this becomes 0. Okay, and L will be cancelled out with this L, will get v by r. Will get v by r for the value of a. Likewise, put v by s plus r by L is equal to 0. So s will be equal to minus r by L. To get the value of v, put s is equal to minus r by L. So b is equal to v by L into s plus r by L upon s into s plus r by L, for s is equal to minus r by L. Put s is equal to minus r by L and do some basic simplification. You will get the value of b is equal to minus v by r. Minus v by r. So just put the value of a and b respectively on this position. And under this inverse Laplace, so it is v by r upon s plus minus v by r upon s plus, this is under the bracket, s plus r by L. Now we know the formula, that implies I of t is equal to v by r minus v by r into e raised to power minus r by L into t. This is for the exponential function. That was for the exponential function. Now take out v by r common. I of t will be equal to v by r under the bracket 1 minus e raised to power minus r by L into t. This is for t greater than 0, and this I of t is in ampere. This is all about in this video. We have studied the transformed circuit. We have seen R, we have seen L, we have seen C, and we have also seen R and L. In the next video, we'll try to we'll try to see RC and RLC. Thank you for watching this video.